Be sure to order your copy of the Go-Go Offense by Coach Brennan Marion on footballgameplan.com/GoGoOffense. Coach Marion goes through the ins and outs of his explosive offense, one that's tearing up the college football field and putting a lot of points on the scoreboard. Again, you can order your copy at footballgameplan.com/GoGoOffense.
Couple of days for us. We have the officials here, so they were able to watch practice yesterday, work with the players. They talked to the players last night, showed a video, and we had really good open dialogue about some of the rule changes, some of the emphasis, some of the OPI, DPI stuff, and it was really a good back and forth between the players and the crew that's here. I thought Sean Hockley and the guys that are here did a good job with that. So we're going to do the best we can to learn as much from these guys as with regard to some of the rule changes in the next couple of days, and then there'll be continuing dialogue, and I think we as coaches will use the preseason to see how these rules are applied. So that'll take your questions.
Process to do anything special?
Well, it's a new deal, and we have our system in place for challenging, so to speak, but it's going to come down to if we think the call should be changed or not, based on what we either see live or maybe have some visual evidence of. There's going to be a lot of calls, and we've seen it in the past, that didn't apply to replay, where if it was called one way it would stand, if it was called another way it would stand, and so there's a lot of those type calls, and I think the challenge would be for all of us to try to get it right.
Do you think it'll make you almost a little more hesitant to maybe use a challenge early in the game, because that can be such a big swing late in the game?
No, I think we're all going to be aware of that, but I do think there could be a big play that happens early in the game, so we just have to use our judgment on that. And then the OPI DPI stuff, it goes back to the officials inside the 2 minutes. So. Yeah, it's just one of those things.
Throw Daniel May down the sideline to Perkins yesterday.
Well, it was outstanding. I think he's made excellent throws in every practice, and that was evidence to me that he's got the arm to play in this league. We sort of knew it before we picked him. We've seen it throughout the training, and that was actually a very good throw. He's on track to be ready when it's his time to play. I think he's made progress each day. He does something good each day. Now there's always mistakes each day that he then cleans up, and the challenge is to not repeat a mistake. So that's why I'm not really down on once in a while a guy screwing something up, because then now that's something to talk about as you move forward.
Well, I think number one, we've talked a lot about him, and for good reason. He still hasn't played a game, so that's the other thing we're going to look at, is taking what he's learned so far and applying that to the game. I think just in general, and I think any coach would probably tell you this, that evaluates quarterbacks. I think you kind of got to look at things on tape, and you don't just look at statistics. You look at his timing, you look at his decision making and his accuracy, if he's getting the ball out there where it needs to be. I think the workouts, that's one thing that workouts can really help. on a deep ball. Number one is arm strength. Kind of see it in person. I think that's really important. And obviously we were there at his workout, which I thought he did a really good job of. And you can kind of get a sense of when he needs to get rid of the ball and how he needs to get rid of it. Maybe that you don't quite see in college on college tape, or if you were kind of watching on video.
Mike, that, and if so, what has he done twice, perhaps, that he shouldn't have done?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not just rookies, but some veterans too. So I think he's probably one of the better guys I've coached so far. Again, it's just early, but of not making that same mistake. And it's not necessarily the mental mistake, but the thing that kind of has caught my eye has been the physical things that we've asked him to kind of maybe do that cater towards us, maybe that he wasn't doing in college, maybe with the rhythm of his drops. That's at times we'll have at Duke, he was doing a lot of empty and getting the ball out really fast, where you're kind of catching it in maybe a one-step drop, whereas here at times we'll extend that drop a little bit. So if you're not doing a lot of that, it was a little bit new to him early, and he was was a little bit not awkward, but just something that he had to work on. And the next day all of a sudden come back and like, is this the same guy that that we had yesterday? So those are the things that are really, again, he hadn't played a game, but they're kind of exciting to see, and you want to see him apply those during the course of the game, when all of a sudden it's a little more, things are a little more regular season like, or so to speak, as opposed to just practice where the coach is back there correcting everybody.
Last year we didn't hear it as much?
Probably me just being a little more comfortable. When you're a rookie, your head's spinning, and you're just trying to get in here and just show these guys that you belong. And I guess now I feel more comfortable. I know that little trash talking and that competitive, it brings a competitive nature to the team. I know if I bring it, or if I'm not bringing it one day, I know Jabril's going to bring it. I know BJ's going to bring it. I know Evan's going to be there. Sterling, all those guys, and when you have a competitive group and a competitive nature, it only makes your team better, because you got to compete at a high level against each other. It's only going to be easier when you go against another team.
Yeah,
confidence.
I think so. Yeah, but I think, as we all know, the best way you can lead is you got to do it within your personality. So if you're vocal and that's your personality, but if you're not, then I think the biggest thing we talk to our guys about is being a guy that when you walk in the building, your teammates know they can count on you to be dependable each and every day. And yes, the enthusiasm, he's got a little enthusiasm during the course of practice, and that becomes contagious for guys that maybe aren't.
Like,
I think we've really had a great quality of work, and that's like one of the things that we've been really talking about in the defensive room is there's really no in-between with something that's right and something that's wrong. And we talk about making simple better and not making easy things hard. So to come out and be in a good stance and have your eyes in the right place and to be able to play fast and hard, those are the things that we have to do well. And I think that's our guys have addressed that. I think they've come out of meeting rooms, they've taken coaching points, they've taken it to walk through, they've taken it to individual periods, and they've taken it to practice. And we're in a really good process right now. And I really like that about this group. I love the veteran leaders we have at each level of the defense. Not only special players, but like great men, guys that are really good mentors to our young players, both in the meeting room, on the field, and in the locker room. So that's been exciting, and it's really fun to work in an environment where you have some guys that have played the game for a really long time, and you have some young guys that are really just learning both the game, how they need to work, how they need to take care of their bodies, and they're learning the process, and they have some people that are around them to see it and show them how it's done. And I think that as we try to not only get guys ready for the opener, we're talking about getting guys ready to have great careers as Giants. And I think that impacts that on both of those levels. So, we just got to continue stacking days, and again, really like the guys, like the direction, and we just got to keep working.
I'll say it's a fluid situation. It's one of those deals where we got a couple guys that are dinged up a little bit, but once they get back up and running and get healthy again, we'll get going. I mean, it is what it is. It's camp. It's typical. It's nothing that we're not used to. But once we get those guys back out there up and running, we'll be fine.
Corey, was your kickoff returner. I mean, you've got to go totally new with that, right?
Yeah, he's not here, so I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. It's football. I mean, that's just part of the deal. You just midstream adjust. You make the adjustments as coaches, and it's a talented roster. Dave did a good job putting the roster together, so we got guys with skill, with speed, and we just got to get them healthy. Get some of these guys back on the field and get them to full strength, so they can get out there in the game and get game experience. Especially these young guys like Darius Slayton, guys like that. Like, they need to get out, get the practice reps, get in the game, and feel the pressure of a punt cover team coming out, the kickoff cover team coming out, so they can see the speed of it. It's a little bit different.
Coach, I don't think a lot of people give special teams coordinators a lot of credit for their head coach-like duties as far as being able to roster manage and also deal with the offensive side and defense side of the ball. So how critical is that role in your position?
Well, just like you said, I mean, we manage the roster every day. We're probably we're the only person that talks to the team for the most part daily, and minus a player or two or three here or there. But we have to manage the roster. We have to manage the injuries because we do the scout teams and the 4 units. So that's the whole team. It's just a handful of guys that are left out. So we have to be cognizant of what's going on with the hamstrings and the groins and all the little nicks and knacks, because it affects us directly every day. So dealing with those guys and knowing when to pull back, when to hit the throttle, when to choke it down a little bit. Hey, look, we need to go over here, walk and talk a little bit, as opposed to just being on one side or the other. We deal with the full roster daily. We have to be in tune with Ronnie Barnes and what's going on in the weight room and all those different things, and the GPS and the speed and all those different aspects of what's going on with the practice and managing the roster. So it is what it is, and I have to be ready to talk to the guys every day. It's every day I'm out in front of the guys. So it's a good experience. I enjoy it, and I look forward to it every day.